Welcome to the She Means Business Show, where our mission is to activate your confidence, amplify your voice, and help you align to your power. Today, we have on the most amazing female entrepreneur, Krista Wagberg, who I'm also so proud to announce that she was also a She Means Business woman to watch in 2025. So, welcome to the She Means Business Show, Krista.
Thank you. I'm so happy and grateful to be here.
I'm so excited for you to be here and for the audience to learn so much about where you've been, where you're going, and the amazing gifts that I know you have that I'm so excited for you to share. But I'm all about putting women in the spotlight here. So before we get started, I'm going to read your bio.
Okay.
Krista Wagberg, a proud Texas native and salon owner, spent over 20 years helping women look beautiful until life taught her that true beauty starts within. A single mom to a spirited teen, Krista conquered Bell's palsy, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually, emerging stronger and more aligned with her purpose. Now a wellness mentor, healer, and emotional decoding coach, she guides driven, high-achieving women who no longer recognize the woman in the mirror to stop neglecting themselves and rewrite the patterns that keep them stuck. Through nervous system healing, mindset shifts, and soul deep self-care, she helps them rise. All right. So tell us, you went from salon owner, which is, remarkable in itself, and to a wellness coach. Tell us the backstory and the journey.
So it's all encompassing really when you think about it, right? Because inside really reflects outside. However, many are just worried about the outside when inside they're struggling very much so, right? Like the mask. Grew up in the beauty industry. My mom does hair as well. So the joke is that I was born into the industry. So I've been doing hair and just in the wellness beauty arena pretty much my whole life. And wellness really, I took wellness to a whole nother level when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. And huge shifts, right? You want to keep baby healthy and all the things. And then even after birth, I navigated new pathways and met new people within the fitness realm and just really enjoyed that side, making tiny tweaks at a time, with what I put in my body, what I listen to, who I surround myself with. And the number one thing, though, that I realized is how many women that are high achievers, some are mothers, some are not. However, the self-neglect was really high. And with the high achieving attitude and the go-getter in us, we oftentimes neglect ourselves and we don't listen to the whispers that our body gives us. And 2018, I decided to really jump into my own healing journey because it starts within. I did yoga teacher training, and that was a huge catalyst for me to then shift into holistic wellness and then all of the nervous system reset tools that we can use and implement into lifestyle. And that really catapulted after the Bell's palsy. So just a lot of different variables there and layers, right? Healing comes in layers. It's not linear. And each step of the journey is going to bring out a different piece of us that we may have neglected or hid because of programming as children, that we hear along the way. And even as we grow, we're constantly being programmed on how we should look, how we should act, like all those different things. And it really affects us as women and just in general. But my focus is women because that's who I work with the most. And I live it and breathe it, right?
Most definitely.
Yeah,
Well, first of all, I was taking all these notes as you talk. For one, just taking off the mask, right? Because, in talking about programming, where really, in my opinion, programmed like everything's fine. I got this. I can be a mom. I can have a full-time career. I can have stress and no work, but act like I don't. And it's this, fake superhero facade that we've just got to denormalize. So I can't wait to hear more. And then as you talk about self-neglect, my gosh, how how much of that goes on is really probably mind blowing. But I'm curious to know, in the women that you've worked with, when it comes to self neglect, does that kind of fall into any major categories that are most common?
Uh, if we're talking root causes, it's typically trauma based.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so the constant overachieving, lack of self-worth, um, putting everybody else before ourselves, those types of things. And and we're successful. Everyone is successful. It's just that lack of self-care really is so depleting, and we ignore the whispers that our body says stop.
So,
Because
oh, sorry,
yeah,
keep going.
no, you're fine.
I love that you bring up trauma based. I came across this myself just in the last month, but hyper independence is a trauma response, right? So I'm like, oh, but I don't know. Can you talk about some of these traumas and maybe like inform the audience on what those look like that we probably take for granted that aren't, the obvious?
Well, The Body Keeps Score is a great book, and it's something that the body actually does, right? And our nervous system keeps track of everything, just like our unconscious mind does. Our unconscious runs 90% of what we do all day long. So I like to call it our computer hub, right? And then our nervous system, again, remembers everything. And that's more of on a frequency base. So even things that have happened to us in childhood, all the way up to now, it's being recorded subconsciously, and it's also our nervous system feels that vibration. So one thing I like to tell people is like, our nervous system doesn't know what's best. Our nervous system knows what's familiar. And when people are constantly stuck in fight or flight because it's their normal, it's harder and harder for them to understand or to be aware of the whispers, the triggers, the things that all of a sudden you feel fine, and then fight or flight kicks in, and you're like, why is my heart racing? Why is there a lump in my throat? Because a frequency is everywhere, and energy is everything, and everything is energy, right? Everything runs on a frequency. The food, the water, everything. The music we listen to, the things we watch, our environment is a key role in how our body is going to process things. And I'll use an example because it's a huge one. Right before I woke up with the Bell's palsy, a week and a half prior, my left eye kept twitching.
Mm.
I had a knot on the base of my skull here, and a knot right here where the nerves actually enter into the face. But I ignored it, right? Majority of us push through and ignore all the little signals. Our body speaks to us every day. So to take the pause and first ask if it's yours, and second, if the answer is yes, where are you feeling it in your body? What emotions are coming up? Because emotions are stored in the body.
I love this. So so you healed yourself?
Holistically.
Holistically. So walk us through, how did that happen?
So after I, bawled my eyes out and didn't know really what it was, I phoned a friend who actually is my best friend, and she is a naturopath doctor. And she gave me certain protocols to follow. I did it through supplements. I upped my collagen. I had liquid IVs and NAD into the IV. So NAD helps with cell renewal. I saw an acupuncturist, and my chiro in rehab, Dr. Bo, he did muscle stripping and actually got the knots to alleviate and eventually go away. And that was very painful. However, I had about 80% movement, almost full movement by 4 to 5 weeks.
Whoa.
Now, I changed my diet. I forced myself to lay in bed for 3 days because obviously my body was screaming for rest. And I just really had to reevaluate what was important and how could I move more intentionally. And I'd have to say the biggest thing is to slow down and move with intention.
Slow down to go fast.
You have to refuel, right? You can't run your car with no gas in it. That's a well-oiled machine is going to run. If it's not, a part breaks, right? So I like to think, I just use that as an analogy because our bodies are the same way. If we keep ignoring it, and I was over caffeinated, I probably drank at least 2 Celsiuses a day or some type of energy drink, whether it was pre-workout or whatever. So I was putting myself into fight or flight there, and I was living in fight or flight. So my nervous system was just like, what is happening?
So I want to go back a little bit too, because I want to make sure I'm focusing on significance of this healing. So for what is Bell's palsy for anyone who may not be familiar?
So it's when the facial muscles are paralyzed. It can happen on either side. It can happen full face. It's similar. I don't want to say it's similar to a stroke, but people that also have strokes can have paralysis of the face as well. Bell's palsy lives in the spine. It is more of a viral type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Diagnosis. And most doctors will tell you, we can't promise you that you'll have full movement. However, it's triggered by high stress.
So when you were diagnosed, what did that prognosis look like for you?
Scary.
Oh, were they like, did they
Yeah,
tell you?
they told me they couldn't promise me full recovery. They wanted to put me on steroids. They wanted to put me on, I think, 4 different medications, if I remember correctly. And I was like, no. Like my body's so clean, it will freak out just from that, right? It's already in a heightened state. And that's when I just made the conscious decision, like, no, I'm going to figure this out. And I'm going to navigate it with all the tools and the amazing community that I had, with the wealth of knowledge of how to let our bodies heal like they're meant to when they're cared for correctly, right?
I love that because, as you know, we've had on functional medicine CEO, we've had on Kim Witzak, who took on Big Pharma. And so I feel like this is really bringing all of that full circle with more testimonials about healing holistically and not accepting, I guess, doctor's diagnosis as the say all end all without, other options. So you told us about these changes you started making, and 4 to 5 months you said you were almost completely healed?
I'd have to say 100% movement, yeah, probably 4 to 5 months.
Wow.
In about 4 to 6 weeks, though, I was 75 to 80% movement.
And so this time you're still a salon owner, or had you? Okay, so
Yeah.
so here you are and you're experiencing this healing. So what happens next?
Started sharing it with clients, and that's how it starts. I kind of wear many hats, I guess you would say, because even within the beauty industry, wellness matters. So, essential oils, supplements, those types of things. I already started integrating and sharing that with clients anyways, because it just came natural. And I knew my purpose was bigger than just doing someone's hair, right? So, implementing the different tools to make it full circle, it's really just an addition to the gifts God gave me. and allows me to help women full spectrum.
I love it. It's so beautiful. I have a question regarding confidence. So going from salon owner to now like mentoring and coaching people, how did you step into that confidence other than like you knowing your healing journey? But was there any like obstacles as far as that?
Absolutely. Every day there's the obstacles. It's a great question, actually. And it's really just saying yes, even though you don't have it all figured out, right? It's about making a safe container so that people see that it's safe to be vulnerable and that perfection, it doesn't exist, right? Perfectionism is fear-based, and it also is the fuel to procrastination. And I myself have dealt with that. So your best teachers are people that have gone through the ick, however, they refuse to stop,
Mm, love it.
right? Because you should learn something new every day, even if it's minuscule. The minute we stop learning, growing, you're stagnant. And that really is probably the worst feeling. And I don't mean rest because we need rest. I mean, you feel like there's no way out. You're not moving forward. You don't feel like you, like that stagnation. It gets pent up in the body. So, and then you start to not recognize who you are.
Um, I'm just thinking like you're right, the perfectionism in us can stop us. And then like think about the people that wouldn't be helped if you hadn't started sharing your story and your healing journey. So
Yeah.
how do you feel now compared to those first few clients you had?
Way different. And it actually shifts all the time. And this is something that is nothing is cookie cutter because everybody's going to start in a different place. However, if there's one thing that you can impact them with, that's how then you can navigate how what you've been through can best help navigate them overcome something. And then really it's a full, I love the infinity symbol because it's full circle all the time. Give, receive, give, receive, give, receive. Because when you're truly in a growth state, you're around people that are constantly wanting to grow. And environment is key to that period. Whether it's friendship, intimate relationship, business relationships, when it's not congruent, then there's that stagnant energy again, right? So just navigating where someone's at, the experiences that you have that you know you can guide them to help them because everything is a guide. You get to choose whether you want to pick it up or not and implement the tools to make a change because we get to choose.
Get to choose. It's
We get
very
to choose.
important.
Woo!
So, going from my notes earlier too, talking about frequencies. Whenever I try to explain that, I actually was just talking to my mom about this, and I'm like, it's like a radio station. Do you want to listen to country, rock, rap? It's the same with kind of, you know, your health too, or your emotional state and choices too. So, tell us more about your experience with like how you coach um, frequency.
I would love to. That's a great question. Um, so, like I said, everything has a vibration, and there's even certain charts you can look up for those that aren't familiar. Like really low emotions are going to be very low vibrational. Same with music, depending on the frequency. And then there's really high vibrational. So, enlightenment and love are the highest, right? So, I like to give the analogy of the matrix, where you see all the numbers running across, right? And your radio wave is just as good of an example because we can't see it with our eyes. It's running everywhere though. That's how we're able to use electronics and there's satellites and all the things. So food vibrates at a certain level. I like to use coffee as a great example. It's very acidic to the body. When the body is not in an alkaline state and it's more acidic, that's when disease can grow. So just think of that same analogy with if there's a bowl of fruit, right? And there's one moldy piece of fruit and then all the other ones start to get affected. Frequency is the same way. So high vibrational things, and when we make choices and shifts, like instead of, I don't know, heavy metal or rap music, you start listening to Christian music or country music. It's just a higher vibration, and that's scientific. You can look it up. You'll start to shift your vibration and you'll attract different things. Now, things that are lower vibration, you'll notice that they'll just start to back away from you. And that's okay, right? So it's almost like a silent detox as you start moving and navigating and implementing different tools within your environment and what you put inside your body.
Love it. I think I just posted this actually, but it was faith and fear, both things you can't see, but you still choose one. So I feel like that kind of falls into this conversation.
Absolutely.
So, I think so many people get caught up with what you can see.
1000%. Or they start to label.
Yeah.
Right. And that is also deep subliminal programming. Right? From a very young age, to what we watch, to what we listen to, even to how we're raised. Because from a certain age range, we're so imprintable, and there's really nothing we can do because we're a growing child. So that's within, it's like planting seeds in your garden, but you didn't ask for the seeds. So the beautiful part, though, about the different steps of healing is that with unconscious and emotional decoding, we can go in there and we can find where the root is and excavate. And then by choice, we get to fill it with high vibrational affirmations, how we speak to ourselves, what we listen to, what we eat. It's all a journey of implementing new tools.
I want to talk about this emotional decoding, but I also want to share a story because it falls into this conversation. But regarding subliminal programming, self-worth and confidence is always something I've struggled with from a very young age. And, I always say it started as a snowball, but by the time I was able to be aware of it, it had become an avalanche. And that comes with a lot of, I say, destruction, but it was an opportunity for the reconstruction. But part of that process for me, I would listen to 8-hour affirmations at night to reprogram like confidence belief statements over me. And it was to me, it was like rewiring. It was a subliminal program, but it was like while I was asleep, and it was undoing all the things I had learned. So my personal experience with that, it was after one night, I felt like a different person. And this was years ago, and it's something I still do. But then I changed it to high frequency, is it 423 or 432? I always say it backwards, but and all of the sound frequencies that are really healing too. So
yeah, they're fantastic, and they are proven to work, right? And when we're sleeping, our body is the most absorbent. It's when the reset happens, right? Our muscles reset, our spine resets, everything goes into healing mode when we rest, and that's why rest is so important. And it helps balance hormones and all the things. But the binaural beats is another really good one for sleep, which also runs on hertz. And your affirmations they also vibrate at a different frequency, and 100% they'll impact unhealthy thought patterns.
Amazing. So emotional decoding. If I'm your client and I walk in, what does this process look like? I can be your guinea pig for the audience.
Again, it's never cookie cutter, but I typically start with trapped emotions because trapped emotions can be stored within different organs of the body. So
yeah, how do you find them?
Muscle testing. So kinesiology. I do a lot of muscle testing, and And also, I speak to your unconscious with your permission. So you actually are telling me the answers as well. And there's a certain series of questions depending on what we're trying to navigate. And I typically always start with emotions like fear, sadness, those types of things, the very low vibrational ones. With the series of questions, we figure out pinpoint when it started, and then we re-navigate from there. Again, speaking to the unconscious and bringing back awareness, the negative emotions, and then bringing forward as we get rid of that, the really high vibrational emotions that are actually already within our unconscious. We're just filling in the gaps and getting rid of the negative, low vibrational emotions.
Amazing. I love this conversation because I feel like so many people haven't been introduced to some of these terminologies, these conversations, and it was life-changing for me. And I wish I had you a few years ago, to kind of kickstart everything, but I'm glad to have you now.
You know what? Everything aligns exactly how it should, and it doesn't mean we can't still work on it.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
I would love it. I would love it.
I'm more than happy to record those sessions too and share it from a really authentic place. But
let's do it.
It's a whole series.
We should, I mean, that's a great idea. So thank you. It's going in the file cabinet.
Yeah, I think it'd be amazing to watch that process. Because you have to kind of witness it. It's really magical.
It is magical. And the different series of trainings that I took to get there, again, it starts with you. Like, you have to say yes and be willing to get rid of your suitcase with all the boulders in it, to move forward and integrate and implement the tools to then help others. But again, it always is you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to say yes to you. And then from there, again, that safety and vulnerability makes you real to other people that are going through it. And it gives them the opportunity to be like, hey, this isn't working. What do I do?
And I think going back to that mask, I think you eventually get to a point in your life. And so there comes a point where you're ready because you've been ignoring it and pushing it down so long until you just the universe or angels or whatever kind of nudge you. I've heard that they'll throw a pebble or a stone at you and then the rock gets bigger and bigger and then it's the boulder. And so it's kind of your choice on what stage you want to start paying attention. For me, it was several boulders.
Oh, me too, honey. Like the tap tap, well, God, maybe just a bigger sign. And then it's like, okay. And you get the sign and you're like, well, maybe a bigger, slap me in the face with it. And I was like, I feel like God slapped me in the face with it. Like, listen, sister, slow down. So it happens to us physically. It happens to us mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I mean, it can come in many different ways. It can be something that affects our family, that it's like, wow, we might not get tomorrow. What are we waiting for? Right? So,
well, and healing's always, like you said, it's an onion, but the more you start doing it, the more things start to shift and change, and you are open to do it more because you're seeing the results and the happiness and the joy and the higher frequency alignments coming in. So amazing.
And how it benefits our babies,
right? Gosh.
And our families and those that are near and dear to us. Now, some of them might push back in the beginning because they're like, this is weird. I don't know, but I trust you. And okay, I got your back. And then all of a sudden they're like, wow, you're not even the same person. And I was like, thank God. Right? I didn't know who that was either. So thank you.
Well, and that's why, your work is so impactful, as you're a walking example for people to say, how did you do that? And that opens the door where, not that you're trying to sell anything, but, you're living proof of the battle testing, so to speak.
for sure. And everything has to be tested, right? Before it's released. So it is that internal saying yes to you and then moving forward with whatever feels in alignment for your growth.
What do you think if you could go back to that version of you that was feeling the things and ignored it? What would you say now to her?
I'm sorry and you're worth it.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because so many of us forget that.
The worthiness. Mm. So what's next for you? You have client, you're doing the coaching. Is this something you do virtual through groups,
I do
individual? Tell
both.
us all of the things.
So I will. I do in person and online, and just to grow the community. Um, Writing a book, podcast, and getting back on stage are my three top goals. So,
Oh gosh, I have chills. I love it. You are so needed in the world, and you're
thank
such a
you.
bright light. And I'm just so grateful to have you in mine, and to have you here today. So, tell us
So excited.
the audience connect with you to sign up for your coaching? What should they do?
The quickest thing is going to be Instagram. So Krista Wagberg is my handle, and also on Facebook. From there, there's the link tree, and there's different ways to book a discovery call and just kind of see the different modalities that I use. I have them up there as well, like what emotion code is and those types of things, so people can kind of feel it out and see if it's in alignment for them. But I always do a 30-minute complimentary discovery call to see if it's a good fit, kind of what's going on with you, and how we can best navigate that together.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then with everything that you are able to help so many women with, what do you feel, if you had to narrow it down to one that you feel most called to share with the world?
Mm. You deserve to be seen is my biggest statement, because majority of people that have been and dealt with trauma really struggle with using their voice because they were told to be quiet for so long.
Wow.
So that would be my biggest hurdle that has personally affected me, and what I've seen most with the people I've worked with already.
And so many women.
So many women.
So many women.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is amazing. I hope everyone will follow up with you for that discovery call. How amazing is that to offer that? And then I couldn't have, led that any better as far as our mission here to amplify your voice. So thank you for being such an inspiring female entrepreneur who is definitely just such a wonderful example of what that can look like and the impact that can be made.
Thank you. I'm grateful.
And as beautiful as all of this is, and I'm serious about this series here, but I do want to ask you some other questions that are a little more casual, just so we can get to know you better as well.
Okay.
What is your zodiac sign?
I'm Aquarius.
Aquarius, I can see that. Favorite song or genre?
Ooh, that one's tough because I'm multifaceted. I love music. I actually relate a lot of emotion and memories to music. So, I love my Hertz music when I sleep, and then when I work out, I actually like hip hop and like 90s, 2000 R&B. So, but I love country music too. So that was a hard one for me. Music is huge. And again, off that frequency, it depends on the mood. So I'm pretty flexible when it comes to music.
I feel like where have I seen this meme? And it's like, put on some gangster rap and handle it or something.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I do that sometimes, depending on the mood.
Oh, so funny. Okay, what is something that's always in your purse? However, you cannot say lipstick or a lip product because we're 10 for 10 on that.
Oh, I'm sure. My adaptive roll-on essential oil roller.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
great one. Which oil?
So it's doTERRA's calming blend. So it helps with any anxious feelings or anything like that. So, um, yeah, I keep it in my bag just in
Um,
case.
I lately have been drawn to bergamot.
Mm, that's a great one.
Supposed to be for abundance, right? Is that true?
The emotional properties, let me look it up real quick because I'm a huge nerd when it comes to this. It's just there's so many oils, I don't have it memorized. The emotional properties, bergamot is actually self-acceptance.
There you go. Of course it
Yeah,
is.
yes.
Amazing. Okay, favorite book or podcast around personal development?
My most recent one would have to be Mel Robbins' Let Them.
That's a good one. I just read
Yeah.
that as well. I actually had the audio book.
Oh, I'm
Um,
an audio girl. Yeah. Auditory is my highest sense. So, yeah.
audio, I do it, when I'm doing like housework, I will put on the audio book and then that really helps me not feel like I'm doing housework, which I don't love.
Sure. I do a lot driving too, because sometimes you can only hear the same song over and over again.
True. It's so
Yeah.
true. Okay. Favorite or can't live without self-care tip? I know you
Mm,
got some great ones.
Geez. Yeah, I would have to definitely say like the 5 minutes when I first wake up, gratitude. Thank you for another day of life. Thank you for the ability to move about freely without ailment. Um, Definitely how you start out your day is how you can best navigate the rest of it.
I 1,000,000% agree. I say mine is today's the day of my greatest reward. Thank you for more good news, more good luck, and more good fortune.
That's a great one.
um, okay. This is very telling about a person, in my opinion. Your most used emoji.
Oh, the pink heart with the sparkles on it.
I love that one. That isn't my most used, but I do love that one.
Yeah.
Um, Pink and sparkles. Okay. And what does she means business mean to you?
Mm, an opportunity to be surrounded with like-minded women that unapologetically step into their power.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
thank
Yeah, there's so much that each of us have to offer. And what I love most is the community that it brings together because competition is programmed so in depth for women. And really, when you learn that community is the best way because you are always stronger together, that's where I see she means business.
you. Gosh. I'm speechless. That is so kind. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you told us how to stay in touch with you. Anything else you would like to share that we need to know? Maybe one more self-care tip because I feel like you got so many good ones.
Self-care, move your body.
Move.
Movement. When you feel anxious or you feel just not like yourself, get outside or go for a workout because the energy that we intake all day, we also have to exert it in a healthy way. And movement is the best.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Get moving and pick up that phone and call Krista for your free discovery call too. All right. Well, thank you for being here, Krista. So
Thank you.
grateful for you. And I know you help many women today activate their confidence, amplify their voice, and align to their powers. Stay tuned for our next episode.